Welcome back to the Realty Funnels Podcast. I'm Kevin Cahill, and I'm delighted to welcome back Joseph Limo, one of the top agents and most impressive trainers I've met. He's focused in the Inland Empire region of California. Joseph, welcome back.
It's an honor to be back. Thank you very much, Kevin.
When we had our last conversation, you left me with such a teaser, like, hey, I want to talk with you next time about this. I was like, I want to hear about this now. So tell everyone a little bit about yourself, where you are, what you do, how long you've been at it. And then we're going to get right into that awesome thing that I'm excited to hear you share.
Sounds great. Yeah. So I've been in the real estate space for about 20 years now. I am a broker here in Southern California, coach other agents, and am now a professor of real estate at a local college, Mount SAC. And I've been with eXp Realty for the last 7 years.
Thank you so much for being back with us. Mm-hmm. If you didn't already catch Joseph's previous visit with the Realty Funnels podcast, look for that. It is a wonderful conversation. It is so expansive. We talk about business planning. We talk about the importance of understanding contracts. And yet today we are going to talk about this concept that my wife, Lisa, was just talking about. So when you said you wanted to talk about this, I was like, so excited. So we're going to talk about mirror work.
Yes.
Joseph, tell us, what is mirror work?
So this is a concept that came from my personal development background, and I call it mirror time. I think it's probably going to be very similar, but mirror time is a really great opportunity, in my perspective, for anyone. It doesn't have to be business related or real estate related, but especially for real estate agents, to truly check in and leverage that internal navigation. Because it's my belief that a lot of us have the answers we're looking for. We're just looking outside for them when they exist inside. So mirror time is a really specific activity I often ask my agents to do. This has been one of the best developmental action steps in my career. And so what I would do is I would take a definitive statement and I make sure that there are no qualifiers in there. Okay, so it's a very clear and concise statement. And let's just work with this one. I am the best listing agent for my clients. And what I would do is I would stand in the mirror and I would look myself in the eyes. And this is not an affirmation. This is not me just saying it to say it until I believe it. But instead, what I would do is I'd look myself in the eyes and I would say to me, I am the best listing agent for my clients. And this is the magic. It's an opportunity to check in, because the initial reaction is, do I believe me? And if I don't believe me, that's not wrong or bad. And I don't want people to judge. But what I want you to do is ask the natural next question, which is simply, why? What is it that I'm not buying about that statement? And this is where such magic happens. Get a pen, get a paper. And the first time I did this, man, it was a laundry list, but I got through it. This is where that first time I wrote down, I don't even have a listing presentation. I don't know all the best marketing strategies out there. And what you're doing is you're looking within for all the answers that you just maybe didn't know how to draw out of yourself. And that checklist is going to work magic for you if you get serious about checking them off. So whatever it is, if you check in on mirror time, it could be the best agent for my buyers, the best listing agent for my clients, whatever it is. If you stand and deliver in that way, and if for any reason you don't buy it, there's a lot of goodness there. Number one, you get all the laundry list that we talked about, or the list of making sure that you can develop. And then it's also an opportunity to recognize, well, if I don't buy it, why should anyone else? As you start to go down that list and keep showing up to the mirror, what you're going to experience is that your belief skyrockets. And I promise you, when your belief skyrockets, everyone else's belief in you is going to skyrocket as well. Mirror time has been an absolute game changer. I will tell everyone it can be very uncomfortable the first few times looking at you in the mirror. And I like to take my time with it. I like to look myself in the mirror, take a deep breath, smile at myself. You know, there's a lot of times, even if I don't buy what I just said, I'm going to end that session by saying, I love you. And just really feeling that from myself. But mirror time is a really great way to dig in to what the natural internal navigation is for you, which I think for a lot of people is an untapped resource. And so that's how I leverage mirror time. Now, that might be very different from what your wife had in mind. So now I'm excited to hear from you, Kevin.
Very similar.
Love
Very
it.
similar. Yeah.
Wow.
So she was recently reading a book, and she reads a lot of these books. Gabby Bernstein. She and I are both Jack Canfield success certified trainers. Jack Canfield, of course, the legendary co-author of the billion-dollar brand of books, The Chicken Soup for the Soul. He also wrote The Success Principles. In there, he shares 67 success principles. And so this is not a new concept to us, but it's sort of a concept that we're sort of thinking, oh, yeah, we need to go back to that. Years and years ago, there was a funny routine on SNL where the guy would look in the mirror and he says, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's sort of a silly, for comic effect, they're doing it on SNL. But the underlying truth of it is, if you can look in the mirror and expose any of your own hesitations or concerns, then who better to expose them to you than your own self?
Love it.
And then who better than you to just sort of say to yourself, you said, the follow-up question would be why. One of the ones that I've taught about, and what Lisa was just reminding me about, was what would have to be true in order for that statement to feel more true to me in the mirror.
Love it.
And so when we look at saying something, and you and I were talking previously about the importance of authenticity, being yourself. I think it was Groucho Marx who said, if sincerity is so important, if you can fake that, you got it made. And the whole notion of it is, people are saying authenticity, but they're really not exploring what is required to be authentic. And authentic simply means that you're in your strength zone.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing what you're uniquely blessed by God to be able to do for yourself and for other people. You're in a place where time flies when you're in that space. You're happy in that space. You feel good in that space. And being authentic to me means I'm doing what only I can do. Now, other people can do it too, perhaps, but this is the thing only I can do that I can't outsource. I can't automate. I can't really delegate this, because this is just what I'm here to do. And so I think mirror work, or as you say, mirror time, is just a great way to look yourself in the mirror and just simply say, I am the number one advocate for all of my clients. I care about them at a very high level. I'm concerned about them, and I want to do what's right for them. And I know that in the end, I'll get everything I need. And if you can't feel true about that, then you just simply say, well, what would have to be true in order for that to resonate properly?
Or feel like it's true. Absolutely. What's interesting is you mentioned Jack Canfield, because when I break down for my agents how to continue to leverage, some of that internal navigation, one of the next things I often ask them is, what are my resources and when am I going to get it done? And that's directly from the Success Principles.
Yes.
It's one of his worksheets that for me always help to move the ball forward. That's the taking the next step, one in front of the other, because I think a lot of us don't recognize that we have so much around us and people genuinely do want to help and are caring and are willing. We just have to initiate. We have to engage and initiate that resource. And when we do it and put a time destination behind it, things start to move forward, which is powerful.
Some of my favorite ministers, and I know that you're a strong person of faith, as I am as well,
Yep.
they talk about this kind of thing. They may not be at the pulpit or on the altar talking about mirror time or mirror work, but they are saying things like, and I've got them in front of me, it's time to dream again, or one of the I've got a bunch of them right here. I mean, I look at them, they're all over around me, so that while I'm sitting here on Zoom with real estate agents and I'm helping them with their realty funnels and I'm helping them leverage all the tools available to them, I turn to it and I say, well, 5 ways to see your God-given vision fulfilled. Seek God for it, write it down, keep it in front of you, shut out all the negative voices, and thank God for bringing it to pass.
Love it.
One of my mantras, which is sort of the same as mirror work, is I have a wonderful business in a wonderful way, and I give wonderful service, and I receive wonderful pay. Well, do I have a wonderful business? Is it a wonderful business in a wonderful way? Yes, and yes. Do I give wonderful service? Yes. Do I receive wonderful pay? Yes. Okay, but if I didn't believe that was true, here's my opportunity to just look inside and figure out, well, what needs to be true in order for that to resonate. People talk about vibrational frequency. People talk about all those kinds of notions, which I fully believe. And to me, love is the highest vibrational frequency that exists. And God is love. And so therefore these things will resonate, and those frequencies will hit the right people in the right way. So we have nothing to fear.
Right. And again, I think that so many people have the answers within. They just don't know how to tap into them. And that's a really beautiful way when that mantra is stated, and it's not the emotional state behind it is out of alignment. There it is. That's the same as asking why, or what needs to be true for this to feel more aligned. And there it is. Now you're open. You're ready to dive in and uncover all the opportunities for you to be right back where you want to be, and maybe even better in a lot of cases. One last really great nugget that's come from mirror time for me and just in general is the ability to hold space for people. When you have a comfort, and I don't want you to, please be cautious about what I'm about to say. When you have the ability to have an eye connection with somebody and really listen, and they feel like you're holding that space like you do for yourself in the mirror. There are times in my listing presentation, by just asking the right question about, you called me because you want to sell. You mentioned you want to downsize and move to a different home. Tell me more about that. And I go right into that mode of like, I'm just here to be with you. I've had people literally say after a 10-minute conversation, we're ready to list with you. I haven't even said anything, Kevin, but there's so much power in being able to hold that space. Now, you don't want to stare at them. You want to blink, right? You don't want to be weird about like staring in someone's eyes, but just having that presence and that ability to have that connection with someone. If you think that it's hard for yourself to do it, it is. I think it's the hardest when you do it with yourself. But if you can build that and then hold it for someone else, there is a connection there that is almost hard to describe, but it really is one more really great advantage that comes from leveraging that mirror time or mirror work, which I might steal that word from you guys because I love it.
Oh, you're welcome to it. You're welcome. We didn't create it, but it's this beautiful philosophy. I'll share with you 2 thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
One is, back in 2003, I learned this mantra and I loved it immediately because I've been into databases since 1999, 2000. And probably before that, when I was in the restaurant business, and I sort of had my own book of business in the restaurant where customers would say, Kevin, we're going to come back next Sunday night. Can you wait on us? I'll be like, sure, I'll put it in the reservation. And I would say, this is Kevin's, there are parentheses around it in the reservation book. I had my own book of business inside of my own restaurant experience. I learned this in 2002 from Dave Jenks, the legendary co-author of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, the Millionaire Real Estate Investor book, and Shift, and just became a great mentor to me as well. He taught my success in real estate, and that's the letter R, is in direct proportion to the number of people who, when they think of real estate, they think of me.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned that from him, and I was like, that's true. It immediately clicked. It resonated immediately. And I thought, my success in real estate is in direct proportion to the number of people who, when they think of real estate, think of me. And then I built my entire business, which eventually became a $1.2 million a year GCI business, based on my success in real estate is in direct proportion to the number of people who, when they think of real estate, think of me. The notion that prompted into my thoughts just now when you were saying sitting there talking and looking eye to eye, and I talk about being knee to knee with your clients, because that's when contracts can get written, but that's also where you can understand people. Most people mistakenly believe that our most valuable resource is our time. My take on it is a nuance which is ever so slightly evolved from that, and that is our most valuable resource is our attention.
Oh, interesting.
The attention we give to somebody.
Yeah.
You know, you could be with your wife, you could be with your kids, but if you're not giving them your attention, are you really with them? And is that the most valuable time you could be spending with them? But when you are paying attention, how about that?
Mm-hmm.
And how desperately missing is that in a lot of these relationships?
Most certainly. And I think one easy metric for any agent to know if it's really starting to land or if they've really developed that ability is you'll hear this sometimes. It just feels right. Mm-hmm. And that's when you know you're connecting with someone. And there's a lot of ways it could be described. It's like that deeper part of the brain where you're actually able to change human behavior. That's where you're speaking to that level of or depth of like their brain, for example, where language doesn't get created there. So that's why it's difficult for them to communicate whatever it is that they're feeling this connection to you. So as an agent, if you work on this and you're a great listener and are able to hold that space and connect with someone, you will hear that. It just feels right. That's when you know you're onto it.
Joseph, thank you so much for being back with us, talking about mirror time, mirror work. Let's give everyone an opportunity to connect with you. I know that we've got your Monday Mastermind. Yes. They can find that at linktree/J Limo. Mm-hmm. That's L-I. And you have all the other resources there as well. So we've got Linktree/J Limo, linktr.ee/JLIMO. And let's give them your phone number as well. Go right ahead.
Absolutely. My direct line is area code 909-559-0168. And if anyone needed to email me as well, joseph.limo@exprealty.com. Kevin, it's always an honor and a pleasure to connect with you on here. So thank you again.
I can't wait till we're talking again. Thank you for having another visit with us at the Realty Funnels Podcast. Joseph Limo in the Inland Empire in Southern California. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Pleasure's mine. See y'all next time.